Hello, my name is Jabron Washington with EcoWorks, and today we're just going to follow a 6-step process, really short and simple, to replacing your toilet flapper. So you want to go ahead and first step, turn off your water. So we're using a mock-up toilet tank, and so I don't have the shut-off valve, but if I did, I'll be turning off the valve right now, shutting the water off, and then go ahead and flush the toilet to empty the water. If you don't have a shut-off valve at your toilet, then you can go ahead and go to your water closet, wherever they may be in the basement, or wherever your water meter is found, and shut the water off for the house. Then after you do that, you can go ahead and proceed to start the process. So after removing the top lid of the tank, we're going to go ahead and start the removal for our old flapper. So as you can see, that's our old flappers attached down here. And we have the chain, and we have the arm, the flush handle, and the flush arm. And if you notice, there should be two little hooks on the back. One on the left and one on the right of the fill valve. Here's our fill valve line. And we're just going to go ahead and take that chain loose first. So water's off, take the chain loose, tank is empty. And after we remove the chain, then we go ahead and take these two eye hooks off. Once we take those two hooks loose, now we should be able to completely remove the old flapper. So you see, this is an old, worn out flapper, causing us a lot of water waste and making our bill really high. So we're going to replace this with a new one. So here's my new flapper. Same setup, chain, has the eye hooks. Now the one thing to take notice, you can look at the length of the old chain, and that kind of can give you an idea of how long your chain needs to be. Or you should actually be placing the hook, so you can see that I'm fairly close to where the old hook is. And I added a little bit more slack to it because we don't want it too tight. But we don't want too much extra slack also. So first we're going to go ahead and reattach the eye holes in the back. Looks like that's seated well. And then we'll go ahead and attach the chain. Now the rule of thumb is that if you're trying to get the right length for the chain, is that you want to bring the chain straight up, and the first hole that it hits, that's where you want to hook it to. So when I lift this chain straight up, you can see that I'm right there, and that first hole is right near the end. So it looks good. So now we're in the first hole. A little bit of slack, but not too much slack. And I'm also checking to make sure that your chain is not hanging too far down so that it prevents the flapper from completely closing. So you want to make sure you check that as well. So this will be my practice, just to make sure that it's like lifting smooth. It's all the way up. So I'm actually flushing the handle completely. Flapper's coming up completely. And it's sitting back down. So now that we've done that, we will go ahead and turn our water back on, and we do a couple more practice flushes, just 2 flushes, to make sure that everything's working well. That it's smooth, it's opening up, and it's completely closing. We're checking for sounds, make sure there's any hissing sounds, any little slight buzzes, or any of those running noises that you normally hear. We don't want to hear that. And if you want to do a final test check, you could go ahead and drop a pack of dye tablets in the toilet after you've allowed it to refill and you test flushed it. And of course, if you don't see any of the dye in the toilet bowl, then that's good, and that means that you don't have a leak. And so you definitely know that it's not because of the flapper you're leaking, and it could be something else, but you know that the flapper is not the cause of it. And the final check would be just to make sure that it's completely sitting flat, closed, is not stopcock, and is also making sure there's not any debris or any material that might just be in the bowl that might be interrupting the closing of the flapper. And that's it. That's how to install a toilet flapper.